And then we can see on 5, actually look on 15 minutes, because 15 minutes, after the swept all these liquidity, it has no willingness, no bullish movement to have bullish go, because you can see, okay, I maybe have a potential open high low candle concept on this candle, but then I'm telling you, if you want to use open high low candle concept, the best way is to use it with favorable gap. So once the confirmation candle, such as the blue candle, form, it needs to have a bullish expensive move. That way it's a lot higher probability, because you can use open high low candle concept anytime. But then when you actually have expensive move and price retrace respecting that 50% again, then you look on your M1 or M3 VPR, that's higher probability. At the same time, you're following a trend. The open high low candle concept is simply a trend. Anyway, a trend trade, what I meant to say. So if I were looking here and then if I want to trade it, like for example, I have a big exponential move for taking out liquidity from here, that made me realize that okay, maybe it's time to go long. Just because it's a fake out candle, it's a false breakout candle, doesn't mean it's actually saying I'm still bearish or bullish. Because you see, this here is another fake out candle. Maybe I'm taking out this level eventually. Who knows? So this indicator is good and helpful in some ways, but I'm not going to tell you just to overly rely on it. The reason why I even brought you to this page is that I want to show you what I meant by clarity of order blocks. So I'm just going to show you one line entry. Won't really elaborate how I have come to this conclusion, but I want to show you the clarity of order blocks so you can trade the same. But all I'm going to do is that I'm going to mark the order blocks here, and I'm going to mark the order blocks here, and I'm going to mark this as the other order block. So I'm going to show you how I refine it down, just very small example, so I don't hold up too much of the time. So you see, I have order blocks here and order blocks here. I can't even mark my order blocks in here, but the candle height is here, and then we've taken the candle volume, so the volume is sitting here. But of course, we can still mark it to this ICT order block, and then we're just going to use this ICT order block at the same time. So now we're going to go on lower time frame. You can see the background layout I've drawn. This is from time itself. Look, we're not going to bother too much about it this time. Now you can see the order block. That's the candle taking out the previous candle low. So we're going to refine it down. Now we have a wick through. Then we have a candle breaking that thing, but mitigating. So to me, that is already mitigated. That's not clear order block. A clear order block must have imbalance like that. And then we can see what's it really covering. That's not clear order block. It's already mitigated. So now we're going to go on lower time frame just to double check. So here we see we can refine down to this order block. This here is much clearer. But what is the size of this order block? Yep, this is still fitting. It's still valid. So from a change in character perspective, that's the actual candle taking out the previous candle low. So that makes that all block. We can see that time frame I was looking at for 15 seconds. This is all mitigated. This is not clear. That's not the absolute all block that we want to retrace to go higher. But of course, it doesn't have to necessarily retrace depending on which key PD rate that we react from. So it's a lot lower now, but the key PD rate that we came from was the previous week low. But we still got more liquidity sitting down here. We are actually targeting the daily swing low, so that's just one part. Now I'm going to go in 15 seconds back again to look at those particular order blocks. Okay, so now you look at this order block, okay? That's your actual order block, taking out the previous candle high. That's your change character. That's your order block. So we are kind of in a similar situation, just like that one before on price. Yeah, just like that one before. The only difference is that we can see this here, body breaking this high across. So this here's a breakout candle 835.45. This is a 836.15 I'm looking at. This here's a body break and a snap back in and a wick trick here as well. Sorry. What I mean to say, there's a wick through. And now I'm going to here. I can see this here is a true order block, but there is no body breaking it below. There's only a wick through so far. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to refine it to this order block so I can have a clear imbalance sitting here. See, mark the difference, okay? This is the true order block, the blue candle. This candle taking out the volume from this candle, but without breaking the low, okay? This is the true order block. We got a wick through, taking out the clear from here, but then with a body break, and price snapped back in as mitigation already. In the low time frame, we see that is quite unclear, so we refine it down to the clearest order block we can see. So that's how you mark the clearest order block. Now we're gonna go in 5 seconds again just to check what the story is. Cool. So we can see on 5 seconds. This here's the actual candle, taking a previous candle, so it makes that candle the volume and price snap back. So a bit of a unclear order block sitting there. But then to me, this whole order block is unclear. And then because I refine it down, 5 seconds order block is now this one. And that's just unclear. That's unclear. Because this one here snapped that, took the volume, and then price snapped back in. But you can argue that this only mitigating at the beginning. But when they mitigate everything generally. And this is a clears order block, but this clears order block misaligned. Because I want to see the order block at the ICT order block. I don't want to see anything overlapping over it. See what I mean? This here, fake out candle. This here, not a real order block. Not valid. Not clear. Right, now I'm gonna go moving on to other order blocks. So now that here is order block, but there's an imbalance in here in terms of refinement. But we're gonna have a look shortly. So that the true order block is in here. Already below mitigations here, not clear. Okay, and sitting here, just here the space, body break, price snap back in, mitigation already on lower time frame. So none of these are clear. So going 5 seconds just to find out clear soul block. There's the clear soul block. That there, taking out the previous candle high, that's closed below. Let's see, didn't work through. And that here, one candle order block, that's a clear soul block that we want to see. And this here, below mitigation. This here has this order block, taking out the previous candle. That did break. Just one candle order block is the clearest order block you can see. And here, below mitigations, correct mitigation, mitigation. And see how this mitigation is taking liquidity above below these areas. I mean, liquidity, which is taking above these areas, taking this large price out liquidity in here as well. Okay, now have a look on 5 seconds, because I said that order block wasn't so clear. We have a space included and then break, then new high created. So our next high is sitting here. That's order block. So 0.4 pips still valid. This here, I can do a lower time confirmation. See, liquidity grab. But generally, you will still include the space because it's significant. However, we don't actually need to. Within this shelter refinement, you can refine to here, or just a wick here. But that is the mitigator, so then it will be this volume, too small, not considered. I mean, not being considered. I'm going 1 second just to double check, because if you like that order block, you can use it. Let's just have to see how trustworthy it is. So the order block is here, that level. So see, that is a good order block, but it's too small. 1 second, 0.2 pips is fine. But on 5 seconds, 15 seconds, those aren't clear order blocks. So when you see something like this, a shelter, you can use that space if you want to, like this, here, and this. It's an extra space, but remember, see, price breaking above, price snapped in mitigation or what? This here, the 50% mitigated, this here, the 50% also be mitigated just now. The order blocks here is not clear. But because I don't use forex.com, I use FXCM. I'm telling you the second time frame here is so weird, it's just not clear, so I don't use this time frame. I don't use the speed to trade at all. Right. So I have my limit order sitting somewhere here. It did the query grab, then rush downwards. Okay. Because we can see the clarity of all blocks sitting here. Now let's look on FXCM to see the clarity of all blocks again. So now we're on 15 seconds. You can see this here being the all block on 15 seconds. Again, this here being the all blocks. Now again, I can see this is so clear. This here, there's this space, and there's this mitigation already. So I need to investigate what's happening there. So now, I'm going to go on low time frame just to double check. So this here, like I said, clear order block. This here is the order block. You see this body taking out the previous candle low high, and then this here is not the actual candle body taking out the low and snapped back in. It broke and possibly downward, and so a little bit of mitigation. But look, 50% is respected. Also uses order block because on forex.com you can see it's quite clear as well. It's still a clear order block, but I'll use this simply because there's no overlapping. There's no body like this here. There's no body like this here. I mean, learning second time frame is hard. To find the clarity of order block is hard. So I don't recommend you do something, but if you want to increase your runway or you want to find the clarity of order blocks to skip you from really bad quality setups, these are things that you must do, unfortunately, just the way it is. Yeah, so going to here, I've got order block the space sitting here, and this here is a bit of mitigation, but I'll use the space though, simply because it's part of my system. The space is there's a reason why this is space. Yeah. Because if we were to use this order block here, it will be inadequate. And this here order block, like this here, compared to that forex.com, where is it? Compared to that forex.com, this here is a wick through, okay? It's a wick through. So then it's a liquidity grab of this candle, but then it makes hard to find our actual order block. The actual order block would become this wick instead. But for me, now the order block makes sense to refine it down to here. But I know it's so small, so I'm going to keep the space, but mark this as my POI of interest. Going to here. So that's what I've done during the live as well. Price touched here, then I have a order sitting here. And then I just entered. So this is why it's quite important to figure out the clearest feed to look at your order blocks. Because I know different brokers got different feeds, but I'm so used to using FXCM, and I find that the feeds are so much clearer using FXCM plus the sub. Thus, I use second time frame on FXCM. Like a lot of people just use Oenda or like FXCM or Forex.com, but they're showing off 1 minute, 5 minute, or even 3 minutes, 15 minutes, etc. It doesn't matter to them because they don't care about where you get your specific order block. They're getting the rough idea of that zone where price is going to mitigate and then project higher, project lower. They are there to grab those 2 or 3 or 5 hours, etc. Whereas if you do the same amount of distance as them, if you have found your exact reversal point, you can get much better RR, a higher room rate because you're being selective. The downside of doing second time frame is because you're so selective on your trades that sometimes price can just miss you by 0.1 pip or 0.2 without touching a POI, and those are the missed trades. Unfortunately, those are the ways that I've done, and I skipped a lot of bad setups, and I got a lot of good RRs, so this is the role I'm going to stick to. If you want to join me on the second time frame journey, wish you good luck. Thank you for watching.